People of the internet, my name is Hawaji Fadul, bringing you the latest and greatest content each and every day. Since it's Friday, you know what that means. It's Findings Friday, where I tell you all about some of the research I did on the human brain. The subject of today's video will be attention spans and how different technological advancements, namely social media, has affected the human attention span. According to a number of different studies, the average attention span of Americans in the year 2000 was about 12 minutes. Although this may sound pretty minuscule and sad, it has actually decreased to about 5 minutes in 2013, and since then it's probably gotten even worse. Now, let's look into why this actually happened, and what it is about social media that actually does this. In the year 2000, you can only get your news on television, from newspapers, or the radio, since the internet wasn't nearly as popular as it is today. Today, however, people get their news from 140-character tweets for the most part. Social media correlates to many tragic statistics that plague my generation. For example, 25% of people that are adolescents or younger forget the names or details of close friends or even relatives, and 7% of people forget their own birthdays from time to time. Also, there was £1.6 billion attributed to careless accidents in the UK last year alone, showing that people didn't actually pay attention to what they were doing, causing these accidents to occur. Also, every time we start a new task, the brain has to actually completely reorient itself. So, the internet actually causes your brain to disorient itself time and time again, since you keep having to focus on different things time and time again, since everything is so short, in the hopes of efficiency, which is definitely deadly to productivity, since the internet is obviously, as I just said, designed to distract you. For example, videos surprisingly disrupt your concentration so much more than something like reading a full-text article, which actually would allow you to more fully comprehend material than if you had watched an equivalent video on the same subject matter. Furthermore, according to a UCLA study, that showed that just 5 hours of internet surfing can actually change the way your brain works immediately. Just 5 hours on the internet. They did a test before, they did a test after, and the way your brain actually responds to these tests drastically changes after just 5 hours of surfing the web. This can actually be attributed to different scientific reasonings. For example, there's a hormone in you named oxytocin that actually spikes with face-to-face contact due to the fact that you have interaction with another person and, I guess, trust in them. Social media creates similar spikes, which shows that it can actually stimulate the same type of hormonal response as talking to friends or family. At the same time, other hormones, which induce stress, also drop, while users utilize social media such as Twitter. This is one of the reasons why the internet and social media is so addicting, because it allows oxytocin levels to go up and these stress-inducing hormones to go down. Also, in the same way, there is a hormone in you named dopamine, which actually increases the more your brain is actually stimulated. And the internet and social media stimulate your brain so much because there's so much information coming towards you time and time again. And so, as a result of this, dopamine levels in your brain go up and actually causes you to get addicted to the internet, literally. Because different drugs, such as, marijuana or cocaine, actually mess with your dopamine levels to get you hooked on them. Because they either block dopamine receptors to leave them in the synapse for longer so that you feel their effects for longer, or they just produce even more dopamine, causing you to have a reliance on it, since your body will naturally create less in an effort to stabilize the amount of dopamine in your brain. It's also the same thing with coffee, because with caffeine, it actually creates... Caffeine is actually very similar to dopamine in structure, in that it can actually bind to the same receptor, also causing dopamine to stay in the synapse for longer, allowing you to feel happy and elated and full of energy for longer. Similarly, video games can actually sap away from your attention spans as well, due to the fact that you're concentrating on so many different things. When you don't have that many stimuli around you, your brain actually will, I guess, lose concentration far more easily. There is a correlation between playing video games and attention deficit disorder, or ADD, as well. Despite this, however, there are some games actually created in an effort to treat ADD, to help patients increase their attention span, with different, I guess, mind training games that stimulate your brain for the better, that cause you to just think on specific problems without creating too many stimuli that would cause the ADD to get worse. Thanks. I hope you guys all enjoyed this, and I guess you guys can see that now. This is why I try to keep my videos about 5 minutes, since attention spans are just about that time limit. And as always, don't go changing.